We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice. You have locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz wants advice.
It's Brandon wants advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz wants advice to the front.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, and I'm talking about Chicagoland. Hopefully you're checking this out before the race on Sunday. Don't know when it's going to be out. Hopefully it'll be out by like 3 a.m. my time, and you'll be able to watch it before the race. But this is for the Camping World 400 at Chicagoland. My God, I pray that's what it's called. Did I even check? Yep, Camping World 400. Thank God I got that right. Anyway, thought I'd get to it a bit faster today. My girlfriend's still at work, so I can kind of yell, use my ridiculous, you know what I do. You know how I am. Let's just get right into it. First off, I like to thank Anzo, the betting bartender himself from DFS Tavern, for letting me join him on the booze cruise, a thing that we want to start having, a little preview, maybe Thursday, Friday. We want to try and get it to where I can get on his show and everything in his actual video, but we work different schedules, things of that nature. So a good little preview, DFS previews, good there. Be sure to check out my article on Burnout Avenue that should be up in the morning as well. Now let's get right into it. Now first off, I'm going to do things a little bit differently this time. I'm going to go right into who I like or punts, who I perceive as chalk or at least the higher plays, and then go through the people that I like. So looking at qualifying positions, starting my way up from the bottom. You know, obviously we've got Reed Sorensen qualifying dead last and Austin Dillon qualifying first. Going from the bottom, guys that stand out to me right now, punts that I see that people would actually use that actually make sense. Landon Castle and Corey LaJoie. They're the two cheapest guys down there that I would feel comfortable going with, and I'm going to show you why right fast if I can get DraftKings to come up so I can show you and see everything right here. If you go down to DraftKings right now, Landon Castle and the number 00 for Starcom Racing, $52,000. That's pretty darn dirt cheap. Then you got Corey LaJoie at 5,700. And if you did watch the Booze Cruise, and when I talked about some pricing that just doesn't make sense, like why is Ross Chastain higher than LaJoie and Bubba Wallace? Why is Chris Buescher so cheap this week? Paul Menard so cheap this week? Why is William Byron so cheap this week? Why is Blaney and Almirola so cheap this week? Hamlin, crying out loud, he's $8,500. What is up with these pricings? And then you got not one, not two, not three, but five. I gotta make sure. But five guys, 10,000 or more. Does that really make sense? And a shitload of lineups are going to be in this. And I highly expect at least two guys that are 10,000 or more going into each lineup. So let's just say at the bare minimum, you have, let's just say, I'm just throwing in this for example, Logano and Truex, that's 10,100, 10,900. That's an average of 7,200 remaining. I think that's how a lot of people are going to start their lineups. They're going to have anywhere between $75 and maybe $6,900 per average on their lineups. Anyway, I just want to throw that back in there. Going on to people that I think are going to be quote-unquote chalk or at least have the heavier ownership of the thing, and you're going to be like, well, you're choosing everyone. Well, yes, but these guys who are going to have ownership. DiBenedetto, Suarez, Buescher, Stenhouse, Menard, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Joey Logano. I already said Joey Logano. Kyle Larson, Keselowski, Blaney, and the 4-car. I think those are going to be the higher-owned guys. Now, the reason I'm going to go through these: 95, he's starting in the rear. 41, he's starting farther back. 37, good history here, starting kind of far back, and his price lets you kind of use him right here, starting 28th. Moving on to Stenhouse, starting 26th. A lot of people don't like Stenhouse, but he can work there. Paul Menard, 25th, going to carry some ownership there. A lot of people are going to be dipping down to $7,300. This is why these people are going to be highly owned: Stenhouse, Menard, and Suarez, just because a lot of people are going to be picking the higher owned guys. Now, moving on to Eric Jones. Eric Jones starting 30 or a 21st, but he's $8,900, a bit expensive to start using those guys there. And then you got Logano, $10,000. That's a lot, but I think he'll carry some ownership. The 18, the guy who I think's besides Harvick, at least he's the best Toyota out there. Kyle Busch is the best Toyota. I don't know why he qualified so poorly. Just something that happened. And Larson going to carry some ownership based on history and his practice times. Keselowski, now he starts 12th. I think Keselowski and Blaney, well, not Blaney because he's a bit cheaper, but I think these two are going to carry ownership because they're teammates of the 22 who looked fast in practice and yada, 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 and 4-car, that's who we're going to think. We think he's going to dominate. At least I think that's what the consensus is. I haven't listened to any other podcasts, but I think that's who most people are going to have as their dominator. Now, going into practice speeds, checking out people that I like. And then for some reason, why NASCAR.com? Why do you not have lap averages loaded on your site? I go to lap averages, practice one. It's just not on there. Just not on there. What the fuck? I got to go through fucking Twitter and find my motherfucking average lap times. What the fuck is that? Why is that not on NASCAR.com? Anyway, first practice, best consecutive lap leaders, the people who stand out to me are the 4-car, because he's consistent in the practices. Second fastest and first fastest in 10 lap averages in first practice and final practice. Moving on, 88. Pretty fast. I've said it before, I've said it again, I like Bowman. He's stupid fast, but people keep jumping on him. His ownership's getting a bit higher, a little bit too risky for me. 18 is the fastest of the Toyota group in final practice. That's 6th fastest, and he starts, where did he start? I just went blank. Kyle Busch starts 17th. I like Kyle Busch I like him as a dominator. I think if he can work his way through the field, race there with Harvick, he can be 1-2. He might even lead some laps tomorrow, today, whenever you're listening to this. Now, moving on to going back to the consecutive lap averages. Kyle Larson now. Small tangent here, 20-second tangent. I think this package does not suit Larson at all. Mainly because, I shared a tweet that shows that. 2, his driving style has always been about driving very high horsepower to weight ratio cars, like sprint cars. You got a shitload of horsepower, very light cars, things of that nature. You bring the horsepower down on these cars, add the downforce to this, where you got 550 horsepower with a shitload of downforce. That does not suit Kyle Larson's style at all. He can't run the high line. He said it in the tweet. He's said it before. He said it before. Other guys have said it before. You can't run the fucking high line with this less horsepower. You just can't. Your car don't have enough oomph to get up there. Speaking of that, yet again, let me loop back around to this on Twitter. This was the slowest qualifying session. Not sure how many years it has been or if it's happened before, but it has happened to where the Cup cars are the slowest fucking cars this weekend at the track. Check out the pole time. I shared it. It finally happened. Austin Dillon's speed was 176.23. Pole for the Xfinity Series was 177.5, and the Truck Series was 176.6. That means the pole sitter for the Cup Series is slower than the Xfinity and the Truck Series pole sitter. That's fucking stupid. Onward to more consecutive lap times here. Looking at, I'm looking more at final practice. But I just want to show you the best 5 consecutive lap averages. It's going to be Harvick, Bowman, Logano, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin. Moving on to 10 lap averages. I already said that. Then to, 15? I got to find the 15. 15 lap averages. It's still the 4-car, 88, 48, 9, and 42. Jimmy Johnson showing up in there. Still showing that he has some guts and oomph in there, but he qualified 4th. Not going to use you, Johnson. Sorry about that. But Johnson is showing some speed. Kurt Busch showing some speed as well in final practice. 4th fastest, 10 lap averages. 15 lap averages, he's 6th fastest. Not showing up in the 5 lap averages in the top 10, but Kurt Busch is showing some speed. If you look at practice 1, Kurt Busch was 4th fastest, 10 lap, 10th in 10 lap averages final practice. Sorry, I keep jumping around and things of that nature. Moving on to, where else was I going? Things that I think are going to happen here. Now, looking at last year's race, we had the 11th spot on turn 2 and the 72 spun on number 2. last year. I'm going to lean on a lot of last year's race and of the Las Vegas race just because I think that's how it's going to go. I don't think we're going to see a lot of cautions. Percentage of this race ran under caution last year was 8.6%. Average green flag run was 40.7 laps. I think it's going to be a lot like that too. NASCAR is realizing, hey, this package is the personification of a $2 horror. You know, it sounds good. It sounds nice, you know? $2 whores. Perfect, man. That's the easiest blowjob you're ever going to have. But it's just a ruse. Terrible. She's got like no teeth. She has like 2 teeth that keeps cutting you. She doesn't talk. She's doing heroin. You're just not enjoying it. But you have to act like you were smart by using it when you tell your friends that you just got a blowjob by a $2 hooker. This is how this package looks. Big ass spoiler. Big ass splitter. Racing is just not there. I think it's going to be a green flag run. We're going to have some debris cautions throughout the day, but that's going to be it. Weather, I don't really give a fuck about weather. It's hot as shit in July in Chicago. I've actually been to Chicago. It's pretty bad there during the summer. It's going to be hot as shit over there. It's going to be slick. Now, in the past, slick racetracks and this type of racing work together. I don't think it's going to work very well this time around. It's just not very well. We might have some crashes, but we're going to see. I'm going to see more debris cautions than usual. I think we're going to have at least 1 debris caution, maybe 2 debris cautions, because we're going to be spread out. There's going to be a lot of bumping and banging, some tire rubs, but you can't really predict that type of stuff. What am I? Okay, I'm actually doing pretty good. 11 minutes into this video today so far. That is not too shitty. Looking at past history here of guys that I like. Like I said, I'm not going to really lean on this only because we are running a different. What is it? A different package than the last couple years. But I want to show you. Where is this? I'm not really looking at driver rating because Racing Reference has a driver rating, but I'm not really concerned about it because driver rating it has too much emphasis on laps led and not enough on green flag runs and green flag running position. Like it has an average running position, but if you lead a shitload of laps previously, it just fucks it all over. Looking at some stats, best finish among active drivers at Chicago, you got Kyle Larson at 7, Chase Elliott at 8, Brett Keselowski at 9.2, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Harvick, Logano, Truex, and Boyer, your top 10 best average finish among drivers. Current top 10 drivers at Chicago. I don't really like how this layout is. I'm looking at Racing Reference. But I do want to point out that Kevin Harvick has 10 top 5s here, 2 wins. Keselowski, 2 wins. Truex, 2 wins. Kyle Busch, 2 wins. Average starting position. I found this really interesting. I didn't really think about it until I was recording this video before. But if you look at guys, obviously the pole sitters never won here at Chicago. I think they've ran that into the dirt on the broadcast. But looking at history of where these drivers usually start at, and granted, some things are skewed because some guys have raced here for 10 years. I mean, Harvick's raced here every year. But his average starting position is 15.3. Where is he starting tomorrow? You look at Larson, you look at Harvick, he's starting second. It doesn't apply to that. But you look at Kyle Busch, average starting position 11.5. Where is he starting tomorrow? Kyle Busch is starting 17th. Brad Keselowski, average start 12.2. Where is he starting tomorrow? Keselowski starts 12th. Martin Truex Jr., average start of 15.9. I can't even include that because he raced for Michael Waltrip Racing, the one car, Chimp Ganassi back in the day, or DEI, whatever you want to fucking call it there. But at least with Kyle Busch, he qualified way worse than he usually does. He's usually great at this track. Man, I love Kyle Busch this weekend. I really, really do. I like Kyle Busch a lot. I think, being very curious, say, it's going to be hard to really make a lineup worth a shit with these two. But say if you started Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick in your lineup, you got $6,800 left. If you scroll down, I'm going to walk you through a lineup that I think is going to be very popular, but it's going to give you an idea of where I'm going with this race tomorrow. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. I got $27,300 remaining. If I go down looking for people who are cheap, who do I land on? I land on Buescher and DiBenedetto. I think this is going to be a very popular stack. If people put both Kyle Busch, Harvick into it, I guarantee you they're going to have DiBenedetto or Buescher in it. Most likely both. If that's the case, you got $6,900 remaining. Where do you go after that? Say if you throw Stenhouse in there at $7,000, you got $6,700 left. You look there. Who are you going with? You might go with LaJoy. You might go with Chastain, even though I don't really think you need to. You might go with Castle, but right there you're stuck with Ty Dillon, Priest, Hemrick, and so on and so forth. You're stuck with the bottom feeders. But this is going to be a very, very popular stack. I think there's going to be a lot of Kyle Busch, a lot of Kevin Harvick in there. And unless I tinker with this, I'm only going to throw one lineup in there tomorrow. Don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I can make a good lineup with that. This is just first glimpse. Say if you looped around and you need Harvick. Straight up you need Harvick. So everyone's going to have $38,800 left to make a lineup. You got Harvick in there. That's $7,700 average for the rest of the people. Where are you going to drop? I think you got to go with the Benedetto, Chris Buescher. Those two are givens. God, what a shitty chalk ass race to be in, man. I got Harvick, DeBenedetto, Chris Buescher in a lineup right now. $25,000 remaining. Where am I going to go on average per player of $8,433? This is where it gets tricky. Do you go up, snag someone like Eric Jones running 21st? Do you go higher up, get Kyle Larson or Chase Elliott at 95, 97, go up to Logano 10,000? That's tough. I think you could very easily run a Harvick, DeBenedetto, Chris Buescher, and then take a Elliott, Larson, or Joey Logano and still be fine. Let's just say worst case scenario, I get greedy. I take Logano. So I got Harvick, DeBenedetto, Buescher, Logano. $15,200 remaining. Average player points of $76,000. Where do you go next? 76 drops you right back down to Suarez. $7,400. You think, hey, that's not bad at all. $78,000 remaining for your lineup. Say if you want to go, you don't trust Stenhouse, you want to go Menard, Mr. Consistent. God damn it, there's another chalk-ass lineup. Harvick, DeBenedetto, Buescher, Logano. I'm going to say it again because I fucked up right there. Harvick, DeBenedetto, Buescher, Logano, Suarez, Paul Menard. That's going to be another popular lineup, or at least things of that nature. I'm telling you this because I, as a GPP player, I have to find that low-end guy to play that other people aren't going to play. Who is that going to be? Where do I sacrifice my salary? Who do I go with? Who is that low-owned motherfucker that I like? That's based on both pricing, who's around him, and where he's starting. Why do I say who's around him? Well, like I said earlier, 7,000. The low 7K is going to be stupid popular. Suarez, Menard, Stenhouse going to have a lot of ownership. High 68 is going to be very popular. Buescher, DeBenedetto going to have a lot of ownership. Maybe Reagan, Chastain, and man, LaJoy. Who else is going to be popular? The guys starting in the back that are high owned or that are expensive. Logano, Elliott, Larson. You got it. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. Not sure where I'm going. But you're going to need Harvick. I think he's going to dominate. I'm going all in on Harvick tomorrow. Where do you go after Harvick? What guys do you like that are low owned? And that is hard. That's hard for me to say right now. Maybe Almirola at starting 15th might be overlooked. He just might be a tad overlooked. Chase Elliott. Do a lot of people go with Chase Elliott? If you're going with Chase, like Keselowski at 10,600, where is he on the speed charts? He's just not showing up in final practice. Not even on. He's just not anywhere. He's the 14th fastest top 10. That's all I can find right now. I don't know where he is on 15. Don't know where he is on 5. But Keselowski might end up being a low-owned guy here. He just might. Do people go with Truex? You know, I haven't really talked about Truex. I think there's better plays out there, but do people go with Truex? A guy who's been stupid fast, who's basically been fucking winning every goddamn race so far this year. It's tough. This is going to be a tough week to find that cheap guy. And that cheap guy, I don't know. I don't even know if he's still going to be worth a shit. Maybe Reagan. 24th. Where's Reagan on top on lap averages? Reagan is fuck no. He's 26. You can't use Reagan there. It's a tough one, man. Do you dip down all the way to LaJoy? $5,700 LaJoy starting 31st. I don't know. Don't know, man. I know you come to me for pivots and people that I like. I already told you I like Harvick. I like a lot of the chalk guys. Kind of have to play them. I think Almirola is one of the guys I have to play that's not going to be highly owned. I can't imagine Almirola is going to carry that much ownership. Just because his pricing is a bit awkward. It kind of fucks up a lot of stuff if you're using $7,000 guys. Ryan Newman, 16. Don't think a lot of people are going to talk about Ryan Newman, but I don't see him finishing very well. Although he did do well at the Firekeepers Casino 400, which is something I'm looking at here. Fuck, man. Newman, I don't think you can do a whole lot of stuff, Newman. You might be consistent. You might finish up there. 19th fastest, top 10 runs in final practice. Newman, I think Almirola could possibly get a top 5. But he needs to show speed. Is this place he broke his back? Don't remember. Can't remember off the top of my head where he is. Where are you in top 10 consecutive lap averages, Almirola? 21st? God damn, man. This is a tough week. Very, very tough week. Stupid, stupid, stupid tough week. Gonna borrow something from the betting bartender himself. Looking at his rankings right now. I'm gonna use his rankings right fast to see if I can tell where I think the ownership's gonna go. I think Keselowski's gonna be lower owned than what the rank, because Keselowski's ranked 5th right now on Enzo's sheet. If you want information how to get his sheet, check out his video. Man, this ain't telling me nothing. At least the ranking side. I got a lot of information on there. I was hoping I could use the rankings to check out where I think ownership percentage would go. Alex Bowman, where are you starting, Showman Bowman? Starting 8th. God, man, mother of Lord Christ Almighty. Man. Bowman. I think my 3 main pivots. Bowman, Almirola, Newman. I think those are it. I think those are the lowest owned guys you could play that would actually be worth the shit. I think that's it, guys. We're at 22 minutes. Didn't even realize I got that far. Tried to shove in a lot more information here. Don't think I went on any major rants. Guys, if you'd like to support me, I got a Patreon in the description. Follow me on Twitter. If you guys came from the betting bartender, thank you very much. I've received some subscribers, some followers in the past couple days. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Check out DFS Tavern. Check out BurnoutAvenue.com. That's where my article is. They got a fantastic podcast that rounds up everything that has happened over the past weekend on NASCAR. Check those guys out. And thank you guys for listening. Let me know what you think about this. And best of luck. Don't get married to your money. Have a fantastic day.